All right, welcome to another Grit and Grime basketball podcast. I'm here, your host as always, David Sago. To my left, we have the videographer, cameraman, Thomas Arnold.
What's up?
And below me, social media mogul, IOB.
Let me just start off by saying rest in peace to Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. That's how I'm going to start every episode from now on, man.
Yeah, rest in peace to them. And murderers of Breonna Taylor are still on the loose. And rest in peace to Ahmaud Arbery too.
100%.
His killer is actually trying to appeal.
Madness.
Her case. She
ridiculous.
Would be out in 2 years if she's successful.
Absolutely ridiculous.
So, playoffs, man.
Yeah.
Bubble life is taking a turn for the better in a sense.
For the better.
We got playoffs. We got some intense games, some interesting matchups. So we're gonna run through the first round matchups and just discuss how we think they're gonna go in regard to how we predicted. Because we've all filled out our ballots, so now's as good time as any to say shout out to everyone that's joined our bracket challenge, our playoff bracket challenge. You can join too if you go to picks.nba.com. Make your picks. Make sure you answer the tiebreaker question. It's not going to matter because I'm going to beat you anyway. And then when you go to join groups, you can join multiple groups, as many as you want. When you go to join groups, search for the GNG challenge.
Yes, sir.
Can
I name him
you
quickly?
Can join our challenge.
Name him. Name the members. 053, Judge 234, Lewis GBK, Jack Kings, Pure Kicks, Ginger Shack, and Suns Fans UK. And there's a few more.
Shout to y'all, man. I think the deadline is Wednesday or Thursday.
I think
so
Thursday.
Get them in on Wednesday. It says Thursday, but I don't know if that means you can't on Thursday or you can on Thursday.
Fair enough.
So get them in as soon as you can.
Yes, sir.
Come take this ass whooping.
How you wish.
Or if you beat me, come talk slick. I like being on the defensive. So first round's already underway. We had some good games yesterday, but we're going to go through basically 1-8, 4-5, 3-6, 2-7 in the East, and then the same in the West. So we start off with the game that's on right now while we're recording. Milwaukee Bucks versus the Orlando Magic. Shouts to JD and his Orlando Magic. I had them losing in 4.
Yes, sir. Same.
How did you have it, Tom? Same across the board. We were just about to say before this, it's not going to be like a complete drubbing.
No.
It's not going to be a complete walkover. And part of the reason why I don't think it will be is because the matchup with Vucevic and Brook Lopez, with Milwaukee always playing a drop coverage, no matter who they're playing against, Vucevic is going to be able to rain from outside. And if he's hitting his shots, the Magic have it in them to steal a game. The only problem for them is that they lost Jonathan Isaac, who would have been a good matchup for.
He's a dickhead anyway. Fuck
for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, and today they've lost Aaron Gordon and MG. What's the former rookie of the year? Can't remember what his name is, but yeah, he's
Michael Carter Williams.
Michael Carter Williams, that's the one. Yeah, I'm sorry. He's
How long's Aaron Gordon out for?
Do you know what? It was just announced prior to the game, so I think it might just be the one game.
Hopefully, because otherwise, then it is going to be a walkover.
Yeah, but they're up 40-31. Not that that's much, you know what I mean?
No spoilers.
Good point. Anything else on the series?
No. So Aaron Gordon is out with a hamstring. MC Dub is out with a foot injury for game 1. That's all they've said. That's
okay.
Well, on the Bucks, the team that's giving up most threes per game, right?
Yes.
And I think that'd be a dangerous game to play against any team that shoots shoot threes well. But the thing is, the Magic aren't one of those teams. So
no.
Yes.
But with that being said, like Steve Clifford is a very good defensive coach, and the Magic are a decent defensive side. So again, it won't be I don't. It's going to be an interesting matchup. It won't be all out just a slap in the face. But I think that throughout throughout the series, all 4 games, the Magic will give them a run for their money because they are a decent defensive side, and that's it. That's what I'm going to go.
But I don't know how good they can be on that front while missing 3 good defensive players. That's the issue.
I mean, Gordon not so much, but MC Dub, yeah, definitely.
With his athleticism and his size, he can be a matchup problem. He was good on Kawhi in the playoffs last year, and he's with his size and athleticism, he's switchable. So it is a loss. It is a loss. We're moving on to a series which we thought might have some spicy beef, man. Some of that nice, spicy, sizzling hot beef. Not so. Jimmy Butler said, nah, it's in the past. His beef with TJ Warren is over. It's Indiana in the 4th seed against Miami in the 5th seed. How do you guys have this going?
I've got Miami in 6.
I've
got Miami in 6. Yes, Miami in 6.
And I went Miami in 5.
All right.
I might have bumped it up to
That's
6.
disrespectful, man.
Do you know what? There's a few of these that I'm like, I should have given them an extra game to lose.
Yeah, man, come on, man.
But yeah, I went Miami as well.
Listen.
Mostly because Miami have actually beaten Indiana in every game in the regular season.
Yeah.
They're a matchup. It doesn't always matter, but I think matchup-wise, it's a problem for Indiana. They have people that can guard TJ Warren, and then with their shooting, the way they've switched their lineup as well to go small with Bam at center, and then bring Myers Leonard shooting off the bench. I just think Miami's just constructed in a way that will make life difficult for Miles Turner, will make life difficult for TJ Warren. And then their other pieces, Oladipo, Brogdon, just matchup wise, just aren't going to be able to tip the balance.
Sabonis being out really hurts them, man. And
True.
Victor Oladipo, who is rumored to want to play for the Nigerian national side, him being kind of labored-ish and kind of working his way back is also not a good thing for them. But people need to put respect on my man Nate McMillan, the head coaches. They need to put respect in his name. He's a really good head coach. He's done a lot with a lot less talent on his team to get them top 5. Top 4? Top 4 has been great, and he's still not considered. Wasn't considered for coach of the year. So, yeah, but put respect in his name. I think he's going to do some tinkering, but I think Miami will win out in 6.
That's part of the problem, though. He's not a tinkerer. He gets a lot out of his team, but he's not the type that goes into series and makes adjustments and puts his team over the top. That's part of the problem, and he's going up against Spoelstra. That's it. That's an L. Coach versus coach. That's an L. Anything to add, Tom?
No, it's about it. I think pretty much the reasons you gave earlier on. That's kind of what I was going with. I just think Miami is a bit deeper in terms of roster. Maybe not deeper, but like the slightly better. The bench is slightly better, I think. So that's what the difference is going to be. Even though they finished behind the Pacers, but I think eventually Butler's and his playoff experience, will make a difference, I think. Sure. So I don't know. I'm saying in 6, but I don't know. I've got a sneaky I almost went in 7 games. That was the
Oof.
one.
Oh, really?
The one. Yeah, I was gonna go for game 7, but then, you know what? I think Miami wants to prove a point. They I don't know. I
Yeah.
think they could have a good playoff run.
I agree.
Yeah. No, that's all.
All right. And then, we got a good one. Boston versus Philly.
Where do we start?
Snapple fact.
Go ahead.
This is the series that has happened the most in playoff history, NBA
Big
history.
history.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yes.
In the East.
Yeah.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Boston versus Philly.
Yeah. They're two of some of the
happened
oldest
more than
teams.
any other
Yeah.
series.
Two of some of the oldest teams in the league, and
Yeah.
naturally, as a result.
Yeah. So I had
the Sixers are going to get rebranded the NHS 76ers because of all the injuries and
because they're going to
Big
get no
facts.
support and then
No.
be charged for it
no support. Oh,
Brum bum.
because the fans are going to clap for them
Yeah.
and then do nothing else to help them
exactly.
Brum bum.
because they've been underfunded for a decade
No, they
and
haven't.
are being treated like a charity case.
Brum bum.
This shit's getting political. Let's go back to basketball.
Oh no. So I had it in. This is another one that I regret and should have given them an extra game. I have Boston in 5.
Dude, I've got Boston in 4.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Mike.
So-
Sorry, Mike.
So this is
What did you have first, and then you can.
Boston in 5. I've changed it to Boston in 6.
Changed it when?
Ooh.
Just now.
What do you mean? The playoffs have started. You can't change 9.
You can change it.
No.
Yes, you can. Look.
No.
I've changed mine.
I have regrets too. You can't change it. The playoffs have started. They've played a game.
Fuck's sake. All right, I'll change it back. Boston
Please
in 5
send-
then.
Playing that, man. Come on.
I've changed it. I've changed it back.
Sorry, what did you change it from? 2?
You had it in
Boston,
5.
I had it at 5, then I changed it to 6. Then you bitch moaned. Then I changed it back to 5.
Once you've submitted your shit,
Yeah,
that's
man.
done. That's it.
All right, fine.
You can get it remarked.
All right, teacher. Shit.
You can get it remarked.
This teacher over
Or you
here.
can go with your teacher grade.
Get the fuck out of here.
You can do a U-turn.
Yeah,
U-turns
Yeah,
around here.
that's in
Look at you behaving like our
it's in
government.
fashion right now. That's in fashion.
Yeah, so I had it in 5. I kind of want to change it to 6. I'm still not convinced by Boston's performance last night. Add to that the Gordon Hayward injury, which doesn't look good.
Yeah, he's out for 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, they've reported.
Yeah, so he's out for 3 to 4 weeks. He's been diagnosed with a ankle strain, grade 3, on his right ankle, and he'll be out to 3 to 4 weeks. Some people are reporting 3, others are reporting 4, so it's 3 to 4 weeks.
That's fine. And you wanted to change? See, like, come on, man, can't change your answer after you know all this information. Yes, that does will obviously affect the series and affect the rest of their playoff run. Embiid was able to do a lot of damage in the first quarter, and then it seemed like Philly just didn't go to him anymore. For the rest of the game, which was weird to me. He was dominating them.
Yeah, what is Brett Brown doing, bro?
This is last series, man.
What is he
I think that's his last run.
Last series, man.
Do you know, and I'll try to keep this quick, a lot of the criticism that I think he's gotten, in my opinion, I think it's been a bit harsh.
Same.
But last night, it literally came to me like, oh, some people were right. Like, what the fuck is he doing? Like with these selections, with these rotations, with these subs? Like what?
Yeah, it was weird. Go on.
No, I agree, because it's like over the last few years, right? And rightly so, there's a lot of people that have pointed out injuries and maybe like relationships within the players and like a whole bunch of different reasons to why the Sixers are not doing as good as they should be doing, right? Because they should have a maybe not a ring, but at least like a NBA Finals,
appearance or something.
at least one. But there's never been, to me, it feels like there's never been a discussion about the coach and how much. Well, maybe there has been a little bit, but not as big discussion as there should have been, right? Maybe this for some reason he's managing to escape all sort of criticism or heavy criticism. Like if he was any franchise, he'll get destroyed. Like like the Lakers, even the the Knicks, like bigger markets. I think he'll be gone by now.
But Philly is a big market though. It's a huge market.
It's not as big as the other markets. It's not as big as the Lakers, for example, or
the Bulls.
But who?
The Bulls.
Oh no, we'll get to that. Fuck Jim Boylan, we'll get to that.
What have you done, Dave? What have you done?
It's one of the biggest markets in the league.
It is. Yeah,
That's a fact.
They make money hand over fist, and their coach is one of the most lowest paid.
That's a fact.
No, you're right. And the excuse has always been, oh well, Simmons wasn't healthy, or Embiid wasn't healthy, or
there's not a good relationship between the two of them. Or,
it's their chemistry, or it's other things. Other things have always been blamed. But
it's a funny thing because usually the first
is the
call
coach.
is towards the coach, right? The first thing you look at, the first thing you trying to or the first person to always get the blame is the coach.
Yeah.
And not if for some reason it feels like he's been, I don't know if he's being protected by higher ups or if there's something, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he was there throughout the process, wasn't he? And I think
maybe that's why
because he has developed the players. So like Covington, who has left now, but he came through there. Shamet came through there. Embiid came through there. Simmons came through there. You give him the benefit of the doubt that he's raised this team, so you give him ample opportunity to prove what he can do with them, and before you start looking at making a change. They did change GMs. They've changed GMs 3 times while he's been there, and he's survived all of that. So his time will come. But it was just strange. Embiid had 11 points in the first 3 minutes or something like that, and he finished the half with 13.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, what happened? Philly stayed in the game, despite not having Simmons out there to guard Tatum. Tatum made them pay for that. I think he had 29 points in the game, scored at will in the fourth quarter to bring it home. Jaylen Brown had a great game as well, 27 points.
Can we put some respect on Thibauld's name as well?
Thibault, he came on to guard Tatum, and gave them good minutes.
As he always does.
Horford looked like he wanted to make a statement.
Yeah!
With the dunk and the roar. Yeah. The Incredible Hulk impression.
No, I like it though.
I thought he was going to get a tech.
Me too. Me too.
He sort of took a step towards Tatum, and I was like,
Me too. But the way he angled his body in mid, it was kind of like, all right, fine. But the refs are inconsistent. They're inconsistent like BBL refs. So
and then he wrapped up Jaylen Brown and threw him down a little bit. I thought, which is why I thought he deserved that tech.
No, I don't think. I think Jaylen Brown will cry like a baby. I'm Boston. Listen, Boston Brit. I know you're listening, bro. But apologies, Jaylen. He overdid it. He should have been given an Oscar award or at least a BAFTA award, a nomination for that. Like he was like, oh, I'm dying.
There was to me anyway. I saw some downward movement in Horford's arms. He didn't just wrap him up and hold him. He wrapped him up and through. There was some throwing motion, I thought.
All right.
But I like that the series has that going for it as well. The fact that Horford was a former player and stuff. And it's just going to be interesting to see what comes of it. There was too many Horford plus Embiid minutes out there, and they shouldn't share the floor if Brett Brown can help it. But I think Boston are going to come through, even with the Hayward injury. I know they're not that deep, but what's his name? Robert Williams III. Give him good minutes.
Yeah.
Smart might have to start now, which might change things for them.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that bench is going to wear thin, but I still think they have too much quickness.
I agree. I think it's just too much for the Sixers to handle. They might steal a game. Maybe my 4-zip was too much, but it might go in 5. But I don't think there's a chance.
Yeah, I mean, Embiid just has to.
Unless he's got a monster game like 60 and 30, I don't see how.
Yeah, he has to exert himself, and they have to play top quality defense. Josh Richardson was really good in game 1 as well.
Yeah, he's a good player.
The 2-7 matchup: Toronto, Brooklyn.
Next. I've got a 4-zip.
Toronto in 1.
Toronto in 1. That was it. That was a Champions League special.
You see,
it was one game.
Now I don't know if it was me just not paying attention, not realizing it was in the bubble and what's happened in the bubble and who's not there. I put Toronto in 5.
No.
And I just feel like the Raptors always give you 1, but then I remember 2 plays for the Nets, and I thought maybe not.
Not this year. Not this year.
Yeah, maybe not.
I think Toronto's got too much experience now. They've gone past the whole thing of losing the first game or losing one game. Plus, I mean, they were up by 30 after like 10 minutes.
And then the Nets cut it to 8, and I was like,
all right,
here we go.
Dude, that's today's NBA. Like most of the games are like that. Somebody goes up big, and then
it was a home game.
Yeah, it was
a home game. See, if it had been in Brooklyn,
dude, this one
erased that.
That doesn't apply this season. Just get rid of it. I think I just realized though I've got 3 series in 4. No, yeah. 3 of the
4 East series you have in 4 games. You see?
But the only one I'm 100% well, actually no, the Milwaukee one, but the Toronto one, I think I'm 99% sure that'll go 4-zip. I don't see how Brooklyn's gonna get a game off Toronto. I don't see that happening.
Telling you, Van Fleet isn't gonna have 30 every game. Promise you that.
Doesn't have to.
True.
Doesn't have to.
But you know who will have 5 charges?
I know
Kyle
where you're going
Lowry.
with this. Yeah,
Kyle Lowry. You know what I mean? Every bloody fam. I'm sure he people walk into him accidentally in the house. He falls over. Like
yeah, but then it goes the other way, right?
Jesus, man. I don't know how he does it.
Boom.
I don't know how he does it. It'll be so frustrating playing.
Anticipation, man. Anticipation.
Oh yeah, fact.
All right. So moving over to the West Coast, the best coast. The 1-8 matchup, the best team. With the best player in the bubble, Dame Lillard. Bubble MVP. Yeah. Officially.
Yep.
I have it Lakers in 6. Tom?
Lakers in 5, even though I wanted to go 6.
Io?
Wait a minute. Give me a second. Hot second. Yeah, I said Lakers in 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Explain your 7.
I think listen, Portland can't defend for shit. We all know this. They've gotten to this point by outscoring everyone, and this is more so an intangible conversation, more so than a statistical one or whatever. You know, they will give you a good dogfight. They're just they seem to be like the junkyard team that are just in it to scrap and will scrap for every inch. And I don't think they're gonna go down. They're gonna go down, but they're not gonna go down without a fight. It will be I think they might clip the first game. They may lose the next 2, but it will. I think it will go down to 7. I just think that Clutch McCullum will come out clutch again. No pun intended. Pun intended. Dame Dollar, who retweeted us the other day.
What about his back? Spinal.
Spinal.
Spinal, yeah.
I mean, they're gonna inject him with a ton of shit. That will keep him. I mean, he'll be out for the beginning of next season, but you know.
All right. I had it in 6, so I have a slightly less degree of concern for my Lakers. I've given Portland 2 games just because I know Dame can do what Dame does, and the Lakers haven't been the best in the bubble. Their first quarter against the Kings was decent. Obviously beat the Clippers in the first game back, but their performances were up and down. LeBron's been more down than up, and AD, despite having a couple of really, really good games, has been up and down as well. So I think it's going to be one of those ones where it stays close early. Maybe the Lakers take the 2 home games, or they split the first 4. And then the Lakers realize that actually they don't have anyone that can guard LeBron. They don't have anyone that can guard AD. And then they just figure out defensively what they need to do to slow down the Blazers. Their defense is really, really bad, but their scoring has kept them in games. And I don't see it going 7 just because Portland has struggled in seemingly every single game in the bubble. Like, they haven't blown out anyone. They've played Memphis, they've played Philly,
but then
they've played the Kings, the Spurs. It doesn't matter who they've played. They haven't been able to.
They haven't. But then look at it. Look at it. They've been in games where they've been down big. They've crawled themselves back, and they've gone on to just to win. Is sometimes, again, I'm not the statistical guy. You know. Shout out to Aaron. But like, listen, I think intangibles in itself will carry that. Will literally carry that team to a 7th game, and I think just clinicalness and LeBron James new Tune Squad uniforms will carry them over the hill, really, to be honest with you.
I put the Lakers in 5, but I was gonna, like I said, go in 6. I think that the Blazers are gonna win the first game just because every single game for the Blazers was it's been a playoff game so far. Yeah. So they'll get into that series. When the Lakers haven't had to, they've not done much in the bubble. They've not had to play, apart from the Clippers game. Really, they've not had to do much. They know they were first already, or top. The way the Blazers are going to get into that series, they're going to get in there, full steam. Mm-hmm. Where the Lakers might have to, they might get caught off guard in the first one. So the first one's going to be interesting. Saying that, I think Portland is kind of this psychotic team. I've never seen that before. Where it's like when they go high, they go super high. They're like when they're good, they're up there. They're like top 3 in the West. When they start playing, there's not that many teams that can beat them. When they're bad, they're shit. They're
really bad.
I mean, the collection. Like, what game did I watch the other day? It might have been the Memphis game. It might have been one of except. Portland is the team I've watched the most in the bubble. Like, there's been a couple of games where it's like they lose big, they get back into it, then they go up by 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points. Mm-hmm. They're just in one more bucket to finish it, like with 2 or 3 minutes to go, and every single time they'll turn the ball over, but stupid mistakes that we would make that you wouldn't expect Lillard or Cullum or even Melo.
Great Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, they're just like they're turning the ball over so it's bordering on amateur time sometimes. I'm just wondering, like, what am I watching? Literally 30 seconds ago they were playing All-Star games, and now they do this shit. So they've got, really, I think they've got an issue with their staying in the game. over 48 minutes.
Mm.
It's
if they're fallible. I mean, they have a losing record, right? They're the first team to make the playoffs with a losing record in the West for a very long time.
You have to come on. I mean, one, it's the pandemic shut shit down. Two, they had a shit ton of injuries. Like, I think it's kind of difficult to kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just wouldn't mark them down on that.
I just think that they have enough quality, from the point guard, from like 1, 2, and 3. This is fine, but then when inside, there's really only Nurkic inside. It is not like Whiteside's in there, but he only plays whenever he wants to.
Yeah. Whiteside's
Zach Collins has been playing out of his skin, man. Come on, give him some credit, bro.
He hasn't been that good. And
yes, he has. Yes, he has, man.
But in terms of physicality, he's not. He can't be in there and compete against.
Fine, but then he's competing a lot better than this season, or even in the last than last season. He's not getting like pushed around. Bloody hell, magic.
No, I thought he was better last year in the playoffs. I think he's been injured as well. He was one of the big injuries that they had. Yeah. But I don't think he's come back that strong. And I don't think he has a matchup in this series that will help him showcase his talents.
I just think
Let me say it that way.
If Portland's is to win 2 or push this to 7 games, they're going to have to shoot incredible.
The lights out, yeah.
Like incredibly well for 3, you know.
Yeah.
Like we're talking, playoff records and stuff like that. It's I don't see how they get out of this. I don't think anyone sees them getting out of it, but I want them not to get swept. I just want them to get a game or 2.
Gentlemen. All right. Yeah, that's the one.
Quick one. We have to go back to that Bucks Magic bracket car.
Why?
Because what I'm seeing right now, the Magic are up 62-52. What the fuck is going on?
All right.
It's all right. It's only points. Game 1. It's 10 points. It's 10 points. Oof.
So the 4-5 in the West is Houston versus OKC. We call this the Tom series. There might be some. I don't know. There might be some interesting fouls being drawn in this game. I don't know. Maybe not.
Chris Paul's in there, yeah.
We have Russell Westbrook out with a thigh injury.
Yes.
Likely for the first round.
First round, not first game.
No, I think he's likely out for the first round.
Yeah, first round.
Oh wow! I didn't know this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know this.
And then on OKC's side, has Schroeder left the bubble?
No, he's back.
He's back. Is he eligible to play?
I don't know. I think he's quarantined.
Does that make a difference?
Yes, it does.
Yes,
it makes a
huge difference.
Huge difference.
It makes a huge difference.
Nah.
I want to hear what you guys have got, because
go on.
I've got Houston in 6.
Ooh.
Houston in 5.
OKC in 7.
Oh shit!
Okay. Yeah, yes. This is one of the closest series in the first round.
Sure.
It's gonna be real interesting to see. It's just a funny matchup, just because Chris Paul's game, when he is playing offense, his usage rate isn't the highest. But when he's playing offense, wait, what happened?
What's wrong with Chris Paul? He hates Chris Paul.
I don't hate him.
Let me finish.
Yeah, finish.
Normally, what he does is exploit the big in the other matchup. He'll get switched onto them, pull them out to 3, and then either dribble by them or find some space for a jump shot, get himself to the elbow for a jump shot, and just exploit slow players, exploit big players. And Houston don't have anyone. They don't have anyone big.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting to see how Chris Paul deals with switching defense when he does call for a pick. OKC get to the rim in Schroeder and Shea Gilgeous, who can just get by anyone. Houston, as we said, don't have a big, so it'll be interesting to see how they
So do you
deal
think
with
it's
that defensively.
do you think that series is dependent on the way Steven Adams is going to perform as well?
I say yes. I think he's going to be the X factor.
Ooh.
I think they might have to just pull him out.
He's a very inefficient player, but he's only like he compared to the bigs on the Rocket side.
Yeah,
They've got no one.
Do you know why? Because the two things: because the energy and offensive rebounds, right, and how OKC play the pick and roll. I think he's incredibly vital. I think taking him out will be a disadvantage. I think he is the X factor in this series, in my opinion.
I say they might have to take him out just because offensively he just doesn't impose himself enough. I don't think he'll be. I don't think he'll offer, and his screen setting obviously is great, but I think you're in that situation. You're better off setting those screens with Gallinari, just because offensively he can pop or roll.
But then he doesn't give you as much space.
No, but I still think the value in his offensive versatility makes up for the difference in how much separation you'll get on a screen. Personally, for me, I think he can exploit the lack of size on that team better than Adams can, just by shooting over the defense, whether that's inside or outside. But then defensively, I don't know what's happening with that. If you go Gallinari at center. Yeah, it's an interesting one. What do you think about the who guards Harden?
Well, it depends if they start Robertson. If they start Robertson, then he guards Harden.
Would you start Robertson?
I definitely consider it. Him or Dort. I consider it.
I start Robertson, I think.
Robertson because of experience. And Dort will definitely interchange with Robertson because Dort is a lot more match fit than Robertson, in my opinion. So.
Yeah. Apart from that, I don't really know who else they're gonna put on him. I mean, that's where.
But also, Gildress, he can defend. He's a very, very, very good defender. So and he's tall. He's tall. He's tall. He's got a really like long reach. When you're sitting Robertson, depending on how things match up, and who they've got on the pine, if Dort or Robertson are sitting down, then you have to put Gildress up against Harden.
You could do that. Yeah, that's an option.
But I wouldn't leave him on an island like that, because one-on-one he'd be toast. Anyone would. So I wouldn't. I think the OKC Thunder are going to throw a lot of double teams and traps at Harden.
I would agree with that.
Rotate out of there.
I think they've got better wing defenders than you guys are giving them any credit for.
All right.
I really do. Right. I really do.
I think if they had 2 or 3 Robertson, yeah.
Robertson's, Gildress, what's his name? Baisley, sorry, should I say?
Baisley, yeah, Baisley.
You know what I mean?
This James Harden we talk about.
I don't think that'd be enough, though.
I don't disagree with you, but they're gonna have to defend with committee or whatever. Sure. That saying goes. Yeah, it's a tough one. Though I don't know. I put Houston in 5, but I just don't know. I kind of wish I put that in 6. So I don't. I've not seen enough OKC games to really know what they can produce. Look at the
Best clutch
disrespect.
teams.
Look at the disrespect.
It's not disrespect. Do you know how much I love the Rockets, and I'm still putting them?
What?
You love them a bit more since Westbrook isn't playing.
Nah.
All right, so moving on to the 3-6 matchup in the West, we have Denver versus Utah. I said Denver in 7.
Oh, 7. I've got Utah in 6.
Okay.
Never. That's MAGA country. Denver in 6. That's what.
Wow.
Right.
All by myself there. All by myself.
Yeah. I went 7 just because I did feel like it would be a close one. Obviously. But yeah, I'm just not all the way convinced by Denver. They're just not. They have so much talent.
Yep.
But there's just something in the execution, something, I don't know if it's the drive, I don't know what it is, but they're just missing something that would make me take them as seriously as their record would state they should
Absolutely.
be taken. Whereas I feel like Utah kind of have the opposite of that. Like the drive of Donovan Mitchell is clear to see every time he steps on the court, especially in the playoffs. There's just this certain fight in him, which I see less so from Denver, and even without Bogdanovic. And
wait! Are you sure by saying that after last night's game? They fought.
Can I finish?
I mean,
even without Bogdanovic and Mike Conley, they were able to push the Denver Nuggets to an overtime game, and that shouldn't have happened. Denver should have been able to finish that game way more comfortably than they did. Gary Harris is coming back from injury and it's either injury or illness, and he hasn't been the same this season. Michael Porter Jr. stepped in. And he's great offensively, but defensively leaves them wanting.
Yes. True.
Yeah, I just feel like Denver's missing something, and if Utah was fully healthy, I would probably go with Utah. To be honest, Michael Conley's not unhealthy. He's having a child with his wife, so he's left the team. Yeah, that was my thinking, that Denver will eventually edge it just off talent, but yeah.
I don't know. I agree with you on the Nuggets. To me, they're like so the thing I was saying about the Blazers earlier on, about them within one game having super high highs and super low lows. Denver's, they have a game when they are absolutely unbeatable, and then the next game when you think you're watching, a team from second division Swedish basketball league. It's really weird. It's like they can play like gods, and then they complete garbage next game. So I never know which team we're gonna get at the start of a game. So that's why I'm always on the fence with the Nuggets. I think they're missing. They're like that one player away type of team when they need somebody else. I don't know who else they can add into the roster, but I don't know. They can be impressive at times. Like yesterday's game with what's his face, Canadian boy.
Oh, Jamal Murray.
He was really, really good. So he was really impressive as well, and Jokic was doing Jokic things. He seems to me like he's the only one that's kind of stable throughout the season. You can always count on him, but the rest of the squad is always, either eager to disappear or they'll be really in there. Thing is, for the Jazz is that they're lacking depth. Obviously, there's no Bogdanovic, and the best point guard in the West is not there right now. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Curry didn't make it.
I still have the Jazz in 6 because I don't know, for some reason even when they're having a bad game, they still can win it. Like last night, they weren't exceptional. Donovan Mitchell was. So if somebody else can turn up at the same time he's turning up, that'd be great. They would have won that game if Gobert would have been slightly better, or Ingles would have been shooting a little bit more, I think. You know, over a long series, I think they can make it. I don't know. What you got, IO?
Yeah, no, I kind of I understand where everyone's coming from. To be honest with you, I think that, and Dave kind of said this, which I agree, and I think this is going to be my point on Denver, and why I believe they will ultimately win the series. I think they'll win the series on talent alone. I don't think they'll necessarily outplay Utah. I don't think they'll out-scheme Utah. I don't think they'll out. I don't think even.
Tough.
Yeah, I just think Utah are a tough team. They are hard-nosed, and I think the X factor in that team is Joe Ingles. In my opinion, they need him to shoot better. They need him to shoot more consistently, and it just reverberates around the team, to be honest with you. And I just don't think they have the depth, that Denver has. And I just ultimately Denver will just win out in talent, not anything else.
Yeah, it's the depth. It's the depth. Utah just they have a really short bench. And that showed in that game when Ingles was out there with mostly bench players. It got kind of ugly. Yes. So our final series is ain't no one good in this series, man. Should we skip it?
No.
It's the 2-7 in the West.
Let's skip it.
Oh, come on.
Clippers versus Mavericks. I have Clippers in 5.
I have Clippers in 2. No, seriously, I got Clippers in 5 as well.
Clippers in 6.
Of course you do.
Ooh, innit?
Why the extra game, Tom? Why the extra game?
What? You know why. Because the best player on the planet is playing for the Mavs.
All right. How's his ankle?
He's all right. He's trying to fake the entire Clippers team. That was fake.
Yeah, I just found it funny that Patrick Beverley picked him up 94 feet. He even stole the inbounds pass.
Yeah.
Not the inbounds, the tip. And then he had 5 fouls in his first 10 minutes of play and fouled out in like 12 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, the first few minutes of that game were they were brutal. Because I think Clippers went up by 11. So 11.
No, it was 18-2.
Yeah, it was 18-2. But then the Mavs started playing.
Yeah.
And
then didn't they call a timeout at some point, Mavs, and they were like, fix up, look sharp, basically.
Yeah, and then the Mavs went on like a 38-18 run or something like that, and they were up at the half.
Can I just say, with at that point, right? With Mavs turning the tables, it shows how important Pat Beverley is and how much he just needs to. A lot of us, including myself, love his passion and love his, what I mean? He's grit, his vigor, but he needs to he's too important, man. He needs to tone it down. I love him. I love what he's doing. I really do. I love to see it. I won't lie to you. I love to see it, but bro, be more. Even if you don't tone it down, at least stretch it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, give a little pepper sauce in the first, a little pepper sauce in the second. You know what I mean? Kanye in the third, and a little pepper sauce in the. Come on.
He's the player you want to have on your team. He's someone you want to have on your team because he's that guy that would flip a game of on his head, and that is the player you hate, but it's the player you love to have on your team. Like, you hate to play the guy, but you love to have on your team. I just think sometimes he, like you said, he should shut the fuck up and play. you know. Just I think on those pickup games we used to play, right, Dave? There's always that one guy that runs his mouth, and you're like, it's working at times, but now just shut up. We up. We don't need you to talk
it's
anymore.
over the
You've
top.
done your job. You've done your job. Cut it.
It's over the top, man. It's over the top.
Yeah. It's like,
Chill.
Start clapping like,
chill. Exactly, just chill.
bro.
Yeah,
Chill.
you've done your job. We up.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. It's
yeah. He overdoes it. Luke ended up finishing with 42.7 rebounds and 9 assists. He shot 62% from the field, 61.9. He's just ridiculous. Like when he actually gets his shots off, when he's able to get to the rim, he finishes at a high clip. As Aaron pointed out last week, he was 93% from the line, but he had 11 turnovers.
Yeah,
and that's the game right there. Like Porzingis or no Porzingis, if he can get that down to a manageable 3 or 4, this series could be very competitive. It could be very
11 turnovers for him is it's highly unusual, but I'll attribute that to having Beverly and Paul George and sometimes Leonard.
Marcus Morris forced
Marcus
a lot
Morris
of them early.
Well.
He was the primary assignment on him.
Yeah.
Which was interesting actually. I thought that was a nice stroke from Doc Rivers to replace Beverly with Morris on him as the assignment, because it's given him a different look. Like you're treating him, when you put Beverly on him, you're treating him as a guard, someone who's going to get into his handle, and then Marcus Morris comes in and he's a completely different challenge for Doncic.
Bigger, taller.
With his size, with his size, with his strength. Aaron and I were talking last week about Luka bullying other people. He's not going to bully Marcus Morris. So Doc Rivers, adjusted things. But Doncic was still able to get off. And I think it's going to be another one of those series where Dallas give them a run for their money in every game, but ultimately are overwhelmed by the talent and depth of the Clippers. That's why I went Clippers in 5.
I love for Dallas to cause an upset, but I just think their bench is too short, and they are so dependent on Doncic and KP that it's just too much of a long series. So unfortunately we have to go Clippers, but hey, that's fine. Next year, there's always next year.
Yeah, it's always next year, man.
Once LeBron James joins the Mavs, you'll see.
Balls are coming. Balls are coming. Balls are coming.
Mellow to the Mavs, you'll see.
So that wraps up our playoffs first round series. I wanted to just quickly ask you who you think are the players to watch. So given those series, who would be, if you could pick one each, just one player who you think
series
could
series?
No, just one player in the first round who you think
in the first round
is going to be a big influence over how a series goes.
Oh man, well, I mean, I think for me, it's. I mean, I don't want to be prisoner of the moment, but I'm going to be. So I'm going to choose Dame for the Lakers Portland series. It's just, I think, man, it's such a shame that if only that team was healthy throughout the season, if only this season hadn't been cut, if only the pandemic hadn't hit the world and slapped the world up the side of the face, I think Portland will be probably top 4, top 5, maybe at the very least top 6, and we're talking about a totally different playoff run or totally different playoff seeding. So, I think Dame, he's brought them here so far, and he's gonna Who
do you think Portland could beat in the West? if they did have a different seeding?
See, this is the thing because I'm not entirely sure if they'd be top 4.
But just period. Just looking at the teams that made it, do you think there is another team in the West that they would beat in a first round series?
OKC.
If not OKC, then possibly Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah. Same
Tom, who you got?
I was gonna go with Donovan Mitchell.
Same. I'll change mine though.
Sorry, Dave. Donovan Mitchell, because the way he performed on the first game, I think there's going to be more of that from him, and I think the results from that series kind of rests on how he performs or not perform. Obviously, the rest of his team also, if he can get some more help from his teammates, but it's primarily down to him on how Utah is going to do in these playoffs. So that's the guy for me. Yeah,
I would certainly agree. Changing mine from that, I'm gonna go with Joel Embiid. Because as much as I picked Boston in 5 with the injury to Gordon Hayward, I think that does restrict the team quite a bit in terms of their versatility. And then I think now Joel Embiid has even more responsibility, even more reason to go hard at the Celtics. Because now if you can get anyone in foul trouble, then as far as their short bench goes, it's going to have a knock-on effect for their rotations, and I think he can cause even more damage than they thought he would, because we know Boston fears that Embiid matchup. I think that's going to become even more key with no Hayward to potentially play the 4.
It's a good shout.
All right. So we had some news this week. Our social media manager, the social media mogul,
yes, sir,
seemed to have some biased coverage going out from the platform.
Absolutely,
go for it. It's your time.
Absolutely. Right. No, I'll keep it quick. Listen,
we've got 2 minutes. Go.
He's done. He's out. This is a new era. Shout out to our new president of basketball operations, AK, and our new GM, Michael Eversley. Thank you so much for doing the right job. Please hire Ime Udoka, the assistant coach from Philly.
Bring back Phil Jackson.
Let's go. And that's it. I'm done.
Bring back Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson, 10 years contract.
Ime Udoka, thank you. Let's go.
You know, getting Kenny Atkinson.
Apparently, it was sad news that Gentry was fired, but great news that Boylan was. Vlade Divac has also been moved out of his post as GM at the Kings.
Shout out to Joe Dumas.
And
Joe Dumas.
About time.
Him as well. And Joe Dumas is going to take on those
About
GM
time.
responsibilities.
About time. Put some respect in his name. I can't believe he's been out for so long. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, we have been the Grit and Grime podcast. Catch us across socials at Grit and Grime Pod. Join the GNG challenge.
Yes, sir.
Bracket challenge.
Yes, sir.
And just stay tuned for more good basketball content from us. So from me, David Sago, Thomas Arnold.
Good night.
And IOB.
Rest in peace, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and anyone that's suffered due to police brutality in the UK and America and the worldwide.
True.
And we're out.
Bye.
Deuces.